of it. And I didn't get to ask it, but I'm going to ask you now. You've mentioned, and I'm sure you've had this question before, budget neutral ways to potentially buy Bitcoin down the line. Can you give me an example of a budget neutral way you may be thinking of?
I mean, there's a lot of high IQ people working on this, and I will give you an
Okay.
example, but I say that only to say that there's been countless ideas over the course of the last week or so, and it's in a sense of how we can actually accomplish this. I'll actually point you to Senator Lummis's Bitcoin Act of 2025, in which she believes that we can identify the real true value of some of these gold certificates that are, basically, I think it's like $172 an ounce is what they're categorized at right now. And if we actually realize the gains on that, that would be a budget neutral way to acquire more Bitcoin. I mean, there's countless different ways you can do it. I know the Secretary of Treasury, Bessent, and the Secretary of Commerce with Howard Lutnick. I mean, they're going to come up with, I mean, these are smart people that understand this space really well. And as we convene as a working group, we'll flesh out the best ideas and we'll enact those ideas.
Gold. Theoretically, could you sell some of the gold in Fort Knox to buy Bitcoin? Can we? Is that possible?
Well, if it's budget neutral and doesn't cost the taxpayer a dime,
you're kind of exchanging one for the other.
We'll see whatever creative ideas that we can come up with. And, like I said, with all the interagency working group actors that will convene in these meetings, I mean, we're going to hear some tremendous ideas about how we could do it. I just don't want to box us in yet to what that actually looks like, because I want to be able to hear from everybody. And I think that's one thing that's different about this White House is we welcome in new ideas, innovative solutions, and it's no different the way that we're running our office.
Welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. We have new MicroStrategy Bitcoin content coming out every single day. As you guys know, MSTR just bought 22,000 Bitcoin last week, and that now puts their MNAV premium right here. So around a 1.737x for MicroStrategy when it comes to the MNAV premium. And I'm recording this video at the start of the market open. Give this a refresh. We can see MSTR coming in here at the top 10 at the open of the market, trading with some of the biggest companies in the world. Good to see there. And if you look at where MSTR strategy ranks in the top American companies, you can see they're currently coming in at 126 with around a $76 billion market cap. So we know what just happened. The quarter Q1 just ended on March 31st. Bitcoin's price was not up enough. It had to be around 97,000 for MSTR to show positive quarterly earnings that would remove all of the negative quarters over the past year or so. And that would enable them to be included for the S&P inclusion. So going forward, this could happen in later quarters. But what's really big about this is as MSTR continues to climb this list, the higher they go on this list means the more allocation they'll get from the S&P 500. And that's the biggest ETF out there. And that's where they're going to get a huge allocation. And they're going to use the allocation to definitely go and buy more Bitcoin. And a lot of these index looks like the QQQ and the S&P 500. These are going to be passive flows. That strategy is going to continuously inflow and use that capital to go buy more BTC. And then here are some key dates to watch out for. Tomorrow we have those reciprocal tariffs from Trump. On April 4th, we have the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate, and we get a Powell speech. And then April 9th, we have the FOMC minutes. The 10th, we have CPI, and 11th, PPI. These are traditional market indicators that people watch out for that definitely move the market, and these definitely affect the price of Bitcoin and the whole market going forward. So I have to watch out for these dates, and we'll keep you up to date with everything that comes out around these dates. Then we have Metaplanet. They purchased an additional 696 Bitcoin. But what's really interesting about Metaplanet here is, over the Q1, they've got a 96.5% Bitcoin yield, 770 million yen in Q1 revenue generated via options premium delivered in Bitcoin. Now their Bitcoin MNAV is almost 12x. So looking at that, and you're comparing that to MicroStrategy, MSTR only has an MNAV premium of around 1.8. You're comparing that to a MNAV of around 12x. You could see how MicroStrategy could be undervalued right now. If MSTR had a 12x MNAV premium, that would take the market cap extremely higher than where it is right now. So that might go to show that MSTR is just not being priced fairly right now in the market. And then we have Tether. They bought another 8.8K Bitcoin, $735 million worth in Q1. They continue to stock more and more Bitcoin every quarter. And you have Smash by Saturday, which is a small group of retail traders on Twitter. It's a group that we're actually a part of, but they removed 5.05 Bitcoin over the past week. These are just retail investors that are taking screenshots of their posts throughout the week and posting them in the X group. Pretty cool group. Make sure to check them out if you haven't already, and feel free to join. And they have Kango, a Bitcoin miner. They're sharing their March 2025 production update. They produced 530.1 Bitcoins, up from 472.7 in February. Now they hold 2,474 Bitcoin. So some of these Bitcoin miners are not even selling the Bitcoin that they're mining. They're actually holding the Bitcoin for a long-term hodl. That's what Kango is doing. Good to see there. And you can see they're a pretty big miner. They're mining 17 Bitcoins per day out of the 450 that are mined per day. And they did that in March. So they're doing pretty well there. And then this is from Carl B. Menger over on Twitter. He says there's been not a single on-chain Bitcoin market top indicator that has flashed yet. Some of those popular Bitcoin market top indicators have not flashed that people tend to look out for. So that could be a signal that this is a short-term dip in Bitcoin's price, and we're probably going to see a higher price later in the year. If you believe in the Bitcoin market cycle indicators, you could look at something like this. But I have a clip of Saylor that I want to share with you guys here at the end of the video. Not a lot going on. We have GME that's going to be buying some Bitcoin. I'm sure they'll announce it over the next couple of days. That's going to be a big one. We have Marathon that's going to be closing their $2 billion offering to be buying Bitcoin. So a lot more Bitcoin buying going on this week. We'll keep you guys up to date as it comes out. But thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. My name is Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. Let's go ahead and check out this clip here.
At this inflection point, moving from economics as art, colored by superstition and religion and ideology, and we're crossing this boundary where economics becomes science, and it's informed by mathematics and engineering, right? And the scientific method. But, you have to date that, in my opinion, to January 3rd, 2009, when Satoshi unleashes Bitcoin and there's a singularity, and all of a sudden there's actually engineering, physics, and mathematical principles that are starting to spread in a viral fashion through the economy. And it was like a nothing, and then it's $1 million fire, and then $1 billion network, and then a 10 billion, then 100 billion. Now it's a $1 trillion network, but still $1 trillion is 0.1% of the economy. So 0.1% of the economy has clean money, and 99.9% of the economy runs on dirty, toxic assets that are defective, that are operated by people that don't know they're trading defective assets. Because how would you know if you'd never seen clean? How do you know that you're dirty?